and it's not. I'm going to go into a bit more detail about the episode "Fame and Misfortune," which is the 14th episode of the 7th season of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And anyway, we get started out in the very beginning where Twilight's walking through town. All of a sudden, she has food hitting her. She wonders why. Then, as it turns out, it's a Tula and coconut cream, two fillies from earlier generation, G3, throwing food at each other. Thing is, this was the only episode in the whole series where those two show up. And Twilight tries to get them to realize that their fighting is unnecessary. And then she says that friendship isn't always easy. There's no doubt it's worth fighting for. Now then she says, that sounds familiar, you know? Thing is, okay, it did not come from season 4 when they were writing their journal. It came from season 2 in the season premiere that year when they were fighting against Discord. Anyway, back at the castle now, Twilight winds up showing Starlight the journal. Well, the journal is not in that good a shape. And anyways, yeah, Starlight isn't impressed with it. I'm honestly surprised that journal. I thought it had gotten destroyed in the when the library was destroyed by Tyrek, but apparently not. Then Twilight's friends come over, and she shows them the journal, and well, it's seen better days. They're not real thrilled with it either. But then they start to reminisce over it as they read it. Then Starlight does something that shows her amazing magic once again. She makes copies of the journal, and of course, she made one for herself because she enjoyed reading it. But then there's one little line that I'm pretty sure some of you may have caught on. She said that, oh, she learned that spell back when she was making a certain manifesto, which, of course, some people called Starlight a commie, even though they probably don't know what communism even really is. Basically, that is the whole manifesto thing spins off from Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. And well, then all of a sudden, Twilight comes up with the idea of, hey, how about we make copies of this for every pony? So apparently, Starlight was very busy working on working that spell of hers, making copies for ponies all over Equestria to read. And then at once Twilight is out, starting to give this journal out. We have Tularula and Coconut Cream again fighting, this time over whether they want to play hopscotch or not. And of course, the Coconut doesn't want to, and Tula does. Thing is, Tula knows. Like, yeah, it's Coconut that does, Tula that doesn't. Tula tells Coconut she likes to play it because she always wins. And then after that, we have ponies showing up in town from pretty much everywhere all across Equestria. And there are these 4 ponies that approach Twilight over it, wanting to get her to autograph it. But it's not because they like the journal entries. They simply wanted her autograph because it was a keepsake. And, of course, Twilight wasn't exactly thrilled about that. Then, all of a sudden, we have these ponies talking there at the cafe, I'm assuming, about how they think Rarity should have been left out of it because, yeah, sure, she did a good job setting up the Ponyville Days Festival, but did she really think it was a success because of her? It's like, of course, poor Rarity hears that. She runs off crying. And then Twilight heads off to try to talk to her while Starlight stays and she decides to go talk to those ponies about their comments. Now, one thing I really wish they didn't have so much time constraint on is I would have loved to know what Starlight said to those ponies. Wasn't she probably told them that, oh yeah, you should be considerate, not think of, maybe think before you start saying things like that. And anyway, now we have Pinkie Pie who is starting to go through her own problems because all of a sudden, any time she even talks, ponies laugh, whether it's funny or not. And yeah, it's the poor Pinkie, because that's pretty much the episode's way of showing that Some people may not see her as really sincere. And also going back to Rarity, that is pointing out how her uh, there's so much hate for Rarity, especially earlier on in the series, because yeah, she's more elegant. Some may see her as a diva or a drama queen, but anyway, it's kind of one thing about this episode. It pointed out a lot of flaws with certain members of the Brony fandom. And then also now we move on to Rainbow Dash, where all these young Pegasi are basically um, idolizing her, telling her how cool she is all the time. And they even had as much nerve as to rip out the Twilight Sparkle lessons because all they were getting in the way of the good ones, which were, of course, Dashes. And Rainbow Dash, she likes the spotlight, likes to be told she's cool and all, but even this is getting too much for her. And anyway, now we move on. Of course, also that is also spinning off of how many people in the fandom just love Rainbow Dash, seem to think she's the greatest character out of the whole series. And yeah, that's kind of pointing at them out. And now we go on to Fluttershy, who is also being harassed and surrounded. And ponies are saying, "Oh yeah, why do you keep on learning the same things over and over again? Be assertive already." And it's like, yeah, a lot of people may think that way about Fluttershy in the fandom too, but I, for one, have always liked Fluttershy. So of course, I've never been in that group. Well, in fact, I've never been in any of the groups that this episode was allegedly targeting, as some people say. And of course, then Fluttershy, she does become assertive there. And then one of the ponies is like, wow, you're totally different than the Fluttershy in the book. I don't know what to think about that. Well, anyway, it's one thing you really start to notice is that it seems like these ponies don't even get that this is about real life adventures of theirs. And then we get back to Rarity, where she is stress sewing. And again, she's talking about how she's getting cancellations, and there's because she's saying, "Oh yeah, they don't like her anymore, so they're canceling." Then of course you have all these ponies outside the Carousel Boutique with all these anti-Rarity signs. Is making a total ruckus, trying to make her life miserable. Now all of a sudden we have Applejack being popular. As many of you know who have been a part of this fandom for quite a while, a lot of people always say, "Oh yeah, Applejack's just a background pony. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She's not a real member of the main six." Well, thing is, this is kind of like a total opposite of how a lot of the fandom is. And also, I don't know where I saw this and read this or not, but I'd heard that there actually Applejack was in more episodes than Twilight, which is kind of surprising. And anyway, now Twilight is beating herself up over releasing the friendship journal, and Starlight is trying to calm her down and tell her, hey, it's not your fault, it's every pony else's. They're the ones not getting the lessons, which of course she's right, because they're not. And now they have all ran to the castle. And now the mob has followed them there, just making their lives completely miserable. And then finally we have the great song "Flawless" come out, which personally I think is a great song. But now we go on because in Twilight, okay, Starlight had teleported off before they started singing the song because she had an idea. She had an idea. She told them to wait right there, and then she comes back with Tularilla and Coconut Cream, two ponies from the G3, and it's weird. They're the ones that get the friendship lessons. None of the G4 ponies do. It's the G3 ponies that get it. It reminds me a lot of Applejack's Day Off, where, sometimes needing an outside eye is what is needed to get, um, to actually get it and understand what is going on. And then we have Tularoo and Kona Cream telling the main six that, they learned that friends can go through all sorts of things. Basically, long story short, they tell them they got the message of the friendship lessons. Oh, speaking of Tula Roll and coconut cream, just wait a sec. I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and that episode is actually one that inspired me to commission these two. Yes, Tula and coconut cream. Yes, they are in unicorn form instead of their canon Earth pony forms. As well, I've always liked unicorns. So, but yeah, I got these through Ponies by Ruby Wolf, and she makes great plushies. But anyway, yeah, these two are what this episode caused me to decide to commission. And this is going to be it for this one. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And anyway, you all have a good day. And also, sorry for me running off there for about 30 or 45 seconds. You all have a good day. Bye.